Sarah.
The impact of Friday's decision was swift, and in some states with so-called trigger laws in effect, abortion clinics closed down and stopped providing services almost immediately. Jackson Women's Health Organization, the Mississippi clinic at the center of the Supreme Court case, and the state's only abortion provider.
You know why they have clinic escorts, right? For those of you who are wondering, like, why are there people wearing vests that say clinic escort?
State's only abortion provider.
For the record, normally, like an actual clinic escort, I don't know if these people are actually doing that, but normally there are abortion clinic escorts. What they're supposed to do is protect you from all the fucking psychotic freaks that are, pestering you as you are making this complicated decision. But what these people have fucking done is instead is like some of these people literally have now put on clinic escort fucking vests, even though they are fake. And actually, they are not there to help people get an abortion, but instead to stop you from getting one. That's how fucking indecent some of these psychos are. I need you to understand. And that principle applies also to, that principle also applies to the family crisis centers. Okay? Family crisis centers operate like an abortion clinic. They look like an abortion clinic. They sound like an abortion clinic. But inside, they never offer you an abortion. They have a fake doctor or a real doctor that legally lies to you, okay, about why you shouldn't have an abortion. And there are states where the family crisis center to abortion clinic percentage is literally like 13-1. Ohio, I believe. Yeah. Pro-lifers are literally not human beings, dude. I swear to God. Like, the pro-life conservatives that take matters in their own hands are just straight up not human. This is their entire fucking life. This is their entire purpose of existence, is to just like forcibly make sure women have to carry pregnancies to term.
The abortion provider is expected to shut down within weeks. Omar Villafranca is in Dallas on how this decision already is being felt. Omar, good morning.
Good morning. There were protests here in Dallas and in states across the South where those trigger laws went into effect. To give you an idea of the impact, if a woman here in Dallas wanted to get an abortion, to get to the nearest clinic, she would have to travel more than 350 miles, 2 states away from Wichita, Kansas.
With the country's abortion laws now
How wild, though. Like I said, there are people who, one of my close friends had a preeclampsia and another rare pregnancy condition where the blood was internally clotting constantly. She was going into a multi-system organ failure, and they didn't rush her into an emergency abortion at 11 weeks. She could have died. She still has health issues in the condition. Please tell me how it's cool for states and the court to decide whether or not my friend lives or dies. Yep. Because your friend is someone who is capable of giving birth. That's it. And when you're capable of giving birth, dude, you got a pussy, you got a uterus, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. You are a baby incubator in the eyes of the fucking American state. Straight up.
up to the states, Arkansas went into action yesterday.
For me, this is a turning point for our nation. Since Roe versus
Pro-life equals not human. Lol, got it. We want to kill babies. Perfectly fine. Fucking ludicrous. Fuck you, jackass. First of all, I'm also an advocate for voluntary active euthanasia. So let me just make something clear, okay? I personally believe if you do want to kill yourself medically, you should be able to do so, okay? I think advanced societies already allow that. You might be one of those people who would normally line up for such a process and therefore would probably ease your pain and the pain that you cause all these other people, legally speaking, okay? So just make no mistake. I am actually in favor of that. There's far too many fucking humans anyway. If you don't want to fucking do that, if you don't want to live, if your existence is pain, then you should be able to do that. So that's one. You are a brutal human. Yeah. I guess if you think that that's the case, then I don't know what to tell you. What if you've never taken a fucking intro to philosophy course? Like, holy fuck. So that's number one. Nothing I said is, by the way, grounds for terms of service violation. What I'm specifically referencing is the philosophy, the underlying philosophy around euthanasia and what I am in favor of in the form of legislation. I am in favor of voluntary active euthanasia. Okay? So that's one. Number two, pro-life equals not human. These people are not pro-life. They're actually literally in some instances pro-death. Okay? In most of these instances, they're pro-death. Whether it comes to capital punishment or whether it comes down to forcing a woman to carry a pregnancy to term. You cannot claim that you're pro-life while simultaneously say you want a fully developed human being to carry a pregnancy forcibly to term. That is a brutal process. You cannot comprehend that process, and many people can't comprehend that process and don't even think about it like that, okay? And that's part of the reason why you can so easily fucking mention this. This is a grueling process, and it, especially if you're not consenting to it, it makes it so much fucking worse. Imagine you're just like carrying something in your fucking body that's sucking up your resources, and that something is a product of your rapist, for example, is a product of like an abusive person, for example, and you don't want to carry that fucking pregnancy to term. And the alternative is a medical procedure that is super safe and super easy. You just take a fucking pill and boom, you just piss out the fucking fetus. That fetus that's like this big anyway. Okay? That's it. That's it. It's like a tumor. You're removing a fucking tumor at that point. That's the main difference between a baby and a life, okay, and just a tumor or a fucking fetus, especially pre-viability outside of the womb, okay? Just because someone has duped you into thinking that their position is actually pro-life doesn't mean that they're genuinely pro-life. The Democratic People's Republic of Korea calls themselves a democracy, but they're not a fucking democracy, obviously, okay? Just because someone calls them that doesn't mean that they're the fucking, that's the reality. It's called marketing, you fucking idiot. Are you that dumb? Are you that dull? Are you that dense? Or maybe there's some additional underlying motivating principles there that make you feel like pro-life people are actually pro-life when they show you all the time that they're not. What about the life of the fucking woman, dude? What about the life of the carrier? What about the life of the fucking carrier? How can you say you're pro-life while simultaneously saying like, no, I am going to lock you into this fucking process, a process that could kill you, a process that will 100% leave you medically bankrupt at the very least because it's so goddamn expensive, and into a country where like our future our future destruction is imminent in the form of like climate change. But even before you think about climate change, like what kind of fucking world are you bringing children into? You know what I mean? God damn, like I meme about being an antinatalist. Like I'm not. I want to have children one day, but holy fuck, dude. There are plenty of people who just don't want to make that choice. And there are plenty of people who want to have children. I'm not stopping motherfuckers who want to have children from having children. So why the fuck are these people able to tell you that you have to have a child? That's crazy. Like, I'm sorry, people should not have to wait out the first like 13 years of a child's birth and existence to have a post 13-year abortion, okay, at their fucking school shooting, okay? That's crazy. Like, you shouldn't have to literally take care of a kid for 13 years only with the hopes that the abortion inevitably comes because they're at a fucking elementary school in Texas. That's wild. It's so strange that Americans are like, man, you know, I'm so pro-life, but then also at the same time you're like, yo, no, I'm a big time advocate for fucking murdered children. Big time advocate for cutting school lunches so they fucking get punished for all the existing children that are suffering in this goddamn country. Big time advocate to make sure that suffering continues. You can't be pro-life and be a Republican, okay? Not a single fucking pro-life person is legitimately pro-life. They are pro-death through and through. Stop believing the fucking dumbass marketing.
As Wade was decided, the states that desired to protect unborn life have been prohibited from doing so.
In Oklahoma, any medical staff performing abortions could face prison time. Oklahoma is one of 8 states where the court's ruling triggers abortion bans with no exceptions for rape or incest.
God did this.
Yeah. You can't be pro-life but pro-medical bankruptcy. You can't be pro-life but pro-guns at the same time, which is like literally a tool designed with the express purpose of murder. You can't be fucking pro-life and pro-capital punishment at the same time. Okay? That's crazy. You can't do that.
In Louisiana, the last abortion clinic closed down yesterday.
And what you have prayed for is to make death for women easier because you don't allow them access to good medical care.
Throughout the country, abortion activists say that poor women, many of color, will be hit hardest.
You're basically sentencing Black women to death because already we're dying in childbirth.
Missouri Congress.
Like, again, in this country, it's like on the minimum $10,000 to pop a baby out, okay? And then that is before we factor in childcare and all the other costs associated with it. And you're on your fucking own, okay? In this country, we don't have federally mandated maternal leave or paternal leave or any fucking parental leave in general. We are the only OECD nation on the planet that literally does not have a legal mandate constituted by the federal level where they say, yeah, it's fine. You don't have to like pop out a baby and go back to fucking work. Okay? In this country, we have a significantly higher likelihood die while giving birth or in that process in comparison to other comparable OECD nations. We don't even have fucking baby formula right now because 1 out of the 4 fucking providers was, had a facility that had a fuckload of bacteria in it. Okay? And you're out here being like, no, we need to trap women into this fucking process. And that blows my mind, dude. That blows my fucking mind. It's just pure cruelty. You've made it impossible for people to have even free time to like fuck and have a child. You made it impossible for people to take time off to have a child and properly care for it. You made it impossible to take care of a child financially. And then you turn around and you're like, why aren't people having children? Well, I don't know, man. Maybe it's really fucking costly. People need to try and survive. And there's plenty of people out there who probably would have children if they had the opportunity to. Okay? These are the people who don't want to have children, and you're forcing them to have children. People that get abortions aren't literally trying to have children. There's a very easy and safe medical process to stop them from having a child. Okay? That's it. Being against sex ed, contraception, welfare, and maternal leave, etc. means you hate women. As simple as that. Yeah. Mississippi has 3 times the national average for maternal mortality, and Black women are 3 times more likely to die from childbirth. Yep.
Congresswoman Cori Bush.
I was able to pick up the yellow pages and find the provider when I was 18 after a rape that happened when I was 17 and get the services that I needed.
Activists and some governors are doubling down in an already divided country.
We are going to fight like hell to keep Washington a pro-choice state.
Washington state has 40 abortion clinics. Neighboring Idaho has 3. Which could close after the state's governor saluted the Supreme Court's decision. Washington expects a nearly 400% increase in abortion patients. Nearly 60% already come from Idaho.
With the action that I'm taking here.
California's governor quickly signed legislation yesterday to protect out-of-state women who come for abortion.
Extraordinary leadership.
It's worth noting the landmark Roe versus Wade case started here in Dallas. Henry Wade was the former Dallas County District Attorney. Well, now the current Dallas DA and several others across the state of Texas say they understand the law, but they will not make prosecuting abortions a top priority. Dana?
All right, Omar, thank you.
Them pussies, them Texan pussies, brother. They're